Good morning, Year 8 Digital Technologies. I'm not here today, obviously, so you're going to have Mr. Deal and Miss Johnson for your double today. You're really lucky to have two amazing teachers, and they're going to allow you to do a practical today. So I had two options. You had the option of doing some really boring theory work, or the second option was to allow you to continue with your practical, so that way next week when we have our practical assessment, you're as prepared as possible. So to allow you to do your prac with Mr. Deal and Miss Johnson, who aren't robotics teachers, there's some expectations that are going to be placed on you. So the first expectation today is that the class runs exactly the same as if I was there. I've even got my water bottle to make you feel like I'm in the room with you, right? So the second expectation today is that when we're setting up the tables, it's the same as always. So there's two people taking the whiteboard lids off each table and they're stacked along the side benches. The other expectation is that when we're grabbing the mats from the cupboards, that they're looked after. So we're not going to have any crumples with the paper. The rubber bands are going to be left in the cupboard, and each mat is going to have a rubber band on it when I get back this afternoon. When we're setting up the tables, we know that all the Lego pieces are stored at the front of the classroom in those grey containers. The expectation there is that each grey container stays with each table, right? So if I get a grey box, that box belongs to table 1 and the pieces from that box stay on table 1. So we're not mixing the boxes between tables, and we know that. We've done that every lesson so far. The other expectation is that obviously we look after the Lego pieces, so there shouldn't be anything broken by the end of it. When we're getting our robots out of the cupboard, we'll have one person distribute the robots. So that one person's kind of like what I do, so one person's calling out the names of the robots, and the reason for that is because they're all plugged in and being charged, and too often when we're grabbing them ourselves, we pull them out and we end up breaking that charge cable. So we need to make sure we're really careful with that charge cable, and one person's going to be responsible for handing out all the robots to the other teams. So, by this stage in the lesson, right, we've got all the tabletops cleared, we've got the Lego mats out on the table, we've got the Lego pieces on the mats, we've got the robots, right? So now it's up to you to follow the challenges. You know what the challenges are. If you don't, they're in teams, so you can always refer back to that. But the expectation is that we've got an hour and a half, you're working really hard, so that way next week you're best prepared as possible for your practical. If you need help connecting to your robot, probably first protocol is checking with the peers, so see if someone else can give you a hand with that. The main problem that we see is that you just have to go in on the actual physical brick, go across to the settings menu and turn Bluetooth on and off. If you're not sure how to do it, I'm sure there's so many other people in the class that can help you out with that. And if you're still not sure, just chuck it on Teams and I can remote in from where I am today and give you a hand with that as well. Alright, lessons finished, right? Everyone's had a really productive, successful lesson. At the end of the lesson, the expectations are exactly the same. So the same pieces that come from that table go into the box that you've been using. So again, we're not crossing pieces between tables. So if I'm on table 1, all my pieces go back into box 1, and that gets stored at the front of the classroom. All the robots go back into the cupboard. The tabletops end up going back on top of the tables properly, and also our mats get rolled up and put back into the cupboard. Let me stress to you, if I come in this afternoon after school, I'm going to check everything, all the tables, all the pieces and so forth. If anything's missing or if anything hasn't been put back exactly the way you found it this morning, the whole class, every single one of you are going to come back first break tomorrow, and we're going to spend the entirety of first break going through these expectations. However, I'm confident we're not going to have to do that because you're going to be really successful today, and Mr. Deal and Miss Johnson are going to absolutely love taking the class, and they're going to ask for this supervision all the time. So, that's it from me. Please be productive, please be successful. Remember, next week is our assessment week, so work hard, and yeah, that's it.